Hi, I'm Greg. I'm the next kernel developer, so I'm going to talk to you about laws. The Cyber Resilience Act in the EU is something that's going to affect everybody here in this room, because even if you're not an EU member or your software isn't used in the EU, other countries and other places in the world is adopting the same regulations. The US is looking at this, Japan is looking at this, Korea is looking at it, India is looking at it. We're all going to have to do pretty much the same thing. But first off, this is just my personal opinion. I am one of the very few developers that are actually a part of the working group, the expert committee in the EU working on this law. It is a law, now we're talking about things and how to implement it. But I'm going to talk about how this reflects and relates to us as developers and maintainers. I'm a maintainer of the Linux kernel. Many of you are members and developers and maintainers of other open source projects, and this will affect you, but in very small ways. First off, what is the CRA? It's very simple. It's just a list of ingredients. That's it. A list of software that is in a device or in a product. It's nothing more fancy than that. Think of it as a list of paint ingredients and paint per toy, or a list of recipe ingredients that are in a chocolate bar. That's it. It's a list of the software that's in a device. And you have to list it, and you have some rules about that. And you have to make sure those ingredients, those software in there is safe, up to date, not vulnerable, and that's it. It's not very complex. There's a lot of words and a lot of complex things behind it, but it's just a very basic thing. This is a good thing. We've been wanting this for a very long time. Open source is going to succeed even better, because now people will see that they're actually using our software. Today, people don't have to report it many times. Now they will. This is a good thing. There's also lots of stuff outside the scope of the CRA. If you're just doing a website, just having a software as a service, don't have to worry about that. There's other laws for you. Other devices like automobiles, aeronautical, marine, those have other laws. Other countries have different rules about that. Most of those rules and laws are actually much more strict than the CRA. You're already complying with those. The CRA is not going to be an issue at all. And non-commercial hobby products, not on scope, not an issue at all. Don't worry about it at all, right? Until your software gets used. This is the problem. Open source, we cannot dictate use. We just give the software out to the world, they take that and use it and put it in something. All of a sudden, if someone takes your software, puts it in a product, ships it in the EU, you are now have to abide by the law. It's kind of not fair, it's kind of interesting, but this is the world we live in. We want people to use our software, so this is good. This just isn't a bad thing. Our software should be more secure and more up-to-date than commercial software, so let's show how it can be done. The law has lots of different classifications of groups, developers, something new called stewards, which I'll talk about, manufacturers, integrators, distributors. If you're one of those last three ones, talk to your company lawyers. They know how to deal with those things. We don't have to worry about that. Developers, that's us individuals, don't have to worry about a thing. Do not be afraid of this. Maintainers or stewards, you do have to do a little bit of stuff, but that's okay. Let's talk about that. Here's a nice flow chart that the EU provided. Basically says, are you providing free and open source or contributing? Not in scope. Don't have to worry about that. There's been a lot of FUD about this in the past. Again, if you're contributing to an open source project, you do not have to worry about it. It's not an issue. If you're doing this commercial activity, yes. If you're making money from it, you're a manufacturer. If you're consulting on it, you're not covered. It's not an issue. There'll be more guidance on that later, but don't worry about it if you're a software consultant. If you are a legal person, the term legal person is interesting. In the law, it's used natural and legal in a few interchangeable ways. They're going to correct that, and it's not going to be an issue. But if you are a legal person, that means you're an organization like a nonprofit. Then you are a steward. Otherwise, if you're an individual, don't worry about this. And again, legal person, there's been some disagreements. The law was written to be only for organizations like the Linux Foundation, like Mozilla, like Apache, like Eclipse. Those are going to be stewards, not individuals. So don't have to worry about that stuff. So again, not an individual. So individuals don't have to worry about this. But if you are a maintainer, you're working as part of a foundation, you're working as a CNCF project, you're a maintainer of a project that you push things out, you are going to be covered. And you only have to worry about two things. This is it. As a steward, this is all you have to do. Provide a contact, so somebody to tell you about security issues they find. And then when you fix the security issue, report it to somebody. And that somebody or something is being worked on. It'll go live in about a year. Don't worry about it. I'll talk about dates in a minute. We have plenty of time to worry about that. That's it. That's all you have to do. If you are actually running some infrastructure and you do have a security issue with your infrastructure, you do have to report that as well. That's it. Nothing big at all. And that's all you have to do. And if manufacturers come to you and say, here's this big checklist of things we want you to do, push back. OSSF will have a group, a big form letter that you can push back to them and say, no, go do your own work. People have been talking about authentication or other types of stuff. Don't worry about that. This is all you have to do. You don't even have to take the security fix. You don't even have to fix the security bug. This is all you have to do. And you should be doing this today. To get on part of a checklist for like the best practices, to be a CNCF project, to move up the ladder of those types of things, you do this today. So you're already compliant. So the CRA isn't going to be an issue for you. There's some cool tools out there, bestpractices.dev you should be using today. The reuse tool by FSFAE will automatically create an SBOM and audit your stuff. Use that as well. And there's some checklists from OSSF out there. There's a smaller URL somewhere, but this is about it. Go through the checklist. Again, those 3 things, that's all you have to do. Timeline, people kept worrying about the dates. This is law today in the EU. It has gone into force, but it's not being enforced yet. In June of next year, the government will finally be ready. The assessment bodies for this will be ready. Think of this like a UL or a CE mark on a device. You're going to get much the same thing for manufacturers. Again, next year in September, manufacturers have to start doing this. This is when manufacturers are going to start pushing back on us open source people. Push back on them. They have a whole bunch of work to do. That's on them, not on us. They're using our software for free. Wonderful. We don't have the responsibility. They do. And then finally, the entire regulation applies for us to do those reporting of things in September of 2027. We have plenty, or December, we have plenty of time. Not an issue. So also with this, there's going to be a bunch of standards that are being written. And they're being worked on today. You might have seen some reports about this type of stuff. The use of the standards is going to be voluntary. It'll be interesting to see how those play out. The standards, some of them are published already. They're being reviewed. You can review them in public. Some of them are actually through Git pull requests. It's actually being really done nicely. In Markdown documents, standards are being worked on in the open finally. It's nice to see that. Some of these standards will not be finished until much later. Some of them are almost ready now. There's a lot of them. We are participating in this. It's from the Linux Foundation. If you're interested, talk to me, talk to some other people. OSSF has some people on staff that are working very well with this. I'll call out Apache's doing a really good job as well. Eclipse is helping out as well, and some other open source groups. But we are participating, which is good. And finally, there's a whole bunch of resources out there. We have a whole CRA site. We have a free training course if you want to take it. There's some documentation out there. And there's a whole frequently asked questions. And there's going to be even more stuff being produced by the EU to help combat this and make it in much more easy to understand rules. But again, if you're an open source developer, don't worry about this. If you're a maintainer, 2 things you have to do. You should be doing it already. If you're a CNCF project, you're already covered. Don't be afraid. The law is OK. Thank you very much.